Hey, happy Monday to you, Oswaldo and Sani. This is Jess. Andrea's over here. Check in, say hi, Andrea. Hey there.
Hello.
And got some really important information we want to share with you with respect to getting our arms around this Crawford place. Um, but first and foremost, though, let's get into the numbers. So one of the things I pay handsomely for is this service that allows us to take a lot of the data that any agent can find out in the market and really aggregate it and quantify it so that it makes sense to us, puts it in visual context. And in doing so, breaking it up into 11 of the most usable different containers when arriving at a decision for real estate and, more importantly, real estate price. So you'll notice there's things you can recognize, like for a median sold price. Boom, this was this big run up that happened and capped out about fall of last year, and then it was back and forth, huge dive back in December and January. That was noteworthy in the news. And then we had a huge spike back up. It popped up in January. And then the first quarter of real estate is always really laggish. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. This was more of a tapering off from the huge run up, and this is nothing out of the ordinary. So the good news for you is that while you're riding the new wave of it back up again into the summer months, you're not having to pay the prices to do so. So the sold price is right about where you want it. I'm just going to go briefly over some of the rest of these. The price, the median price per the amount sold is also very favorable as well, in that the relationship between the two is assuaged quite greatly. So more market graphs and metrics to break down. Again, the point, like for example, you could see the expired properties on the rise, supply and demand, supply greatly outpacing the demand. As long as you're not in the camp that thinks that real estate's going away forever, you look at this, much like me, and you would say, well, this is a great time to buy. Even though if this was like, a stock chart or something, you might be a little worried, because why is the supply so much greater than the demand? The demand always comes back around when it's a precious commodity like real estate. You just want to make sure you're buying at the right time. Yeah, and there you go. Now, one of the things, though, that I wanted to make mention of, though, before we get out of this charts part of the demonstration is look at the inventory really taking a spike down from where it was. And you'll see this in the summer months. You can't see the summer months from the year because it's only trending back 12 months. But in the summer months, you'll see this number really start going down. And when that number really starts going down is when you start seeing the prices become more precious. So again, a very favorable time for you to be in the market right now. So let's get into the actual numbers then, shall we? Now, I broke up this comparative market analysis into the four major categories. These are the active properties. These are the rest of the properties out there that fit the same bed and bath count bill and the same range of square feet. And you'll notice of the actives, the average of all of them right now, 15 of them, so that's a good healthy cross section, is just about $400,000. Okay? Of the contingents. These are the short sales that are in contract. They're going to have to price ahead of the market. So I'm not too surprised that they're down in the lower to mid threes. Looks like this statistical outlier up here on ELSA is really pulling that number down as well. The pendings, these are the guys that are already in escrow, back up closer to the 3.5 or 3 3/4 mark. And then the solds, fully up here at over $380,000. Okay, so what's noteworthy about that, A, is the number of $380,000. What's the list price on this guy?
It's 349.9.
349.9, right? So they're already building in, potentially $20,000, $30,000 of purchase price right into the number. And then on top of that, you factor in that this is only for 1,327 square foot
1515.
on average, and we're at 1515. So you take 1515, you times it by 290. I don't really suggest that we do that because you're going to come up with a number that's exorbitant. But still, another indication that this is a very aggressively priced home. Now, two very important points before I leave you, okay? We know it's a good price. Now, first and foremost, we aren't the first guys on the scene, right? And that's to be expected. After connecting with the agent, I realized I discovered there's an investor deal that's currently on the table right now with Fannie Mae, and they're considering it, but it's simply because they're ahead of us. Okay. I have every reason to believe that if we happen to be first on the scene, we would be the ones talking about this being our home and us being in pole position. So we're going to have to contend with that, because the truth is that Fannie Mae could actually accept that offer, and then the home is off the market. Okay. Now, that aside, because that's nothing that we can control, let's talk about what we can. Andrea and I did a little research on this property, and what's not being shared, at least on the listing language anyway, is the fact that about 10 years ago, is it 10 years ago?
10 years.
About 10 years ago, there was a pretty serious event that took place in this home. It was being classified as a murder-suicide. So this is stuff that has to be disclosed, and of course the agent was forthcoming. They're not hiding this, right? This is something that they gainfully share, and it's something that is important for you to understand as well. Now, it was about 10 years ago, like I said, and there has since been other owners in the home, and hopefully that the energy that may have been created in there has been long flushed out. But it's important that you understand that, so that you can make an educated decision for yourself. Is that something that that you understand, and that you have space around, and that you can compartmentalize it and go ahead and rebuild moving forward? Or is that one of those things that just the stigma of it is something that you don't want to build your family around? And either one's totally okay with us. It's just important that you know that, so that you could let us know where you find yourself in that conversation. So I'm going to leave you here with that and this math, and I'm going to look forward to hearing back from you as soon as you watch this video with your thoughts around that point, and also your thoughts around how great of a deal this is number-wise. Okay? And then we'll put something together.